Hello and welcome to the Book Spot. This is the spot where people get their books written. And folks, this is also the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. It's Psalms 118 verse 24. And this is also the day that you're going to start writing your book. This is August 1st, the hottest month of the year. And it is time for you to get that book written, This show is called The Journey. And I'm Joseph McCray, author, who is here to help you get motivated, get inspired, to be pushed, to step out, to get out of the boat, to get beyond the fear and write your book. Folks. And so I want to encourage you. I want to inspire you. I want you to say, you know what? This story that I have, this experience that I've gone through, I want to share it. I want to bless somebody. I want to help somebody. I want to encourage somebody. I want to be a helper. I want to write a self-help book. I want to write a fictional book. I want to write a love story. I want to write a comedy. Whatever it is that you want to write, it's your journey. And I'm just here the first and third Monday at 7:30 to push you, to say to you, get that book written, folks. I want to tell you something. Last month, I had a workshop, get that book written workshop. And I was getting a little leery about, well, should I do it? Will I have enough people? And then I just stopped myself. I just paused. And I said, you know what? This is fear. This is fear of failure. This is fear that it won't be well. And guess what? Went on, had the workshop, had the folks in attendance, and it was exciting. It was so exciting that in 2 months, I'll have another one. Because people want to tell their stories, folks. People want their stories written. And I don't care if you get a book coach, if you get a ghostwriter, whatever it takes to get your book written. You just got to do it. Now I see a comment in here. Let me see what we got here. Oh, that's my wife. She's saying, good job, dear. That's always encouraging. But folks, thank you, Shawanda. I just want to let you know, you have to get your book written. You say, you know what, nobody will read my story. Yes, they will. First and foremost, you're going to read your story because your book has to be written first for you. It has to do something for you. And then there are other people who are going to enjoy your story. Now, don't ever write your book with the idea, my book is for everybody. That is setting you up for failure because no book is for everybody. Now, wait a minute, let me take that back. I want to say there is a book that is for everybody. Everybody ain't reading it. It's the Holy Bible. It's the #1 book sold every year, and according to Barnes & Noble, it's the #1 book stolen every year. So, very popular book. They don't even put it on the list anymore. But that's just an idea. But most books are not for everyone, right? So there's a certain audience that you're trying to reach, certain group that you're trying to target or, speak to, who can relate to your story. So this is about the journey. The night's talk is about the journey, about your journey. I can tell you my journey started long ago. It started almost 18 years ago when I started writing about my mom. And it started with just letters. It started with just little letters, little notes. And then it turned into interviews from siblings and more. And before you knew it, I was at a place where I had to get this book written. I had to tell this story about this wonderful woman, Josephine Jordan. And finally, the book came forth, Pushing On Wonderful Stories About Josephine Jordan on Amazon, okay, still out there. And great book. But it also opened up the door for me to write more books, And not only just write more books, but to be a book coach, to be a ghostwriter. So I am here to tell you, come on. This is August 1st, hottest month of the year. Time to start getting the wheels turning, getting those thoughts out of your head. Stop sitting there procrastinating. Stop sitting there keep telling people, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. Yeah, I'm going to write a book. And nothing is happening, okay? You don't have no pad. You don't have no pen. You don't have no recorder. You ain't got no typewriter. I mean, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on, okay? Okay, if you got to get someone else to write the book, that can happen. You can get a ghostwriter. You got to get ready to pay for it, but you can get a ghostwriter who will write out your story. They'll listen to you, record it, and get it transcribed, put it all together, get it edited. It can happen. You can do that. You can do that. Or you can get a book coach, someone to kind of make sure you're organized, help you out with getting your story, outline, all that kind of stuff. So all that can happen. And guess what? Yours truly do offer that. I do offer that, book coaching, ghostwriting. And I have a book on Amazon called Get That Book Written. I would tell you to invest in it. It's a very nominal fee. It's less than $10, the book. It's real simple. Get That Book Written by Joseph McCrae. You can't get it any simpler than that. And it will help you. It will give you some tips. It will give you some clues. It'll leave a little path for you in the whole process of book writing. And I can only say that after being a part of 7 book projects. I wouldn't be out here trying to be a book coach, ghostwriter if I did 1 book, 2 books. But I'm telling you folks, not to brag or boast, but I've been out here with 7 book projects, okay? And I still have more and more books in me. But I don't want to just go through this ride alone. I want to take you along with me. I want to take you along with me. So if you're out there in Facebook land, you got a comment, you've on this journey, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So let me know. So Christopher, he said that's a good book. Okay, great. He read my book, Get That Book Written, and he's saying that's a great book. Thank you. Appreciate that, sir. That's what I'm trying to do, folks. It's not enough for me to get mine, but also to give something back, right? To give something back. And that's what we should do. That's what we should do. If we've overcome, if we've got over the bridge, we should try to reach back and get somebody else over the bridge, right? To get someone else to be able to be an achiever. And so that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to really milk you. I'm not trying to, to take your life savings. But I am saying to you, you have to make an investment. I am saying to you, you have to make an investment. You have to make a sacrifice, okay? You have to carve out some time. You have to put a value on writing your book. It has to have some level of importance. If you just say, well, yeah, I'm going to get it done. I think tomorrow I might write a little bit and then say, all right. There's no consistency. There's no discipline with that. You got to be disciplined if you're going to get a book written. And here's the biggest thing I ask people. When are you going to finish it? Whenever someone comes to me and say, Joe, I'm going to write a book. Joe, I'm thinking about writing a book. Joe, I'm starting to write a book. I always ask the question, when are you going to finish it? And you heard the crickets. I can hear them. I can hear the crickets. Gotta get your book written. You gotta get a date. You gotta put a date on it. You gotta put like, okay, I'm finishing this in a year, 6 months, 3 months. You gotta put, because see, that's gotta be what pushes you to know what you gotta do every week, what you gotta do each day. Because of that deadline, that date you put on it, right? That time you said you want to have it done. And so I don't believe in that just aimlessly saying I'm going to just do a book. But you do need to be disciplined. You do need to be disciplined. And I say to you, if you need a book coach, you need a ghostwriter, yes, look into that. Definitely look into that. You can reach out to myself. I'll tell you what you do. Look into it first, and then come back to me and say, I checked it all out, and then see how do I charge based on what the other folks out there will charge you. Okay, I tell you, do that. Don't check me out first. Go look at the other people and go look at their prices and their packages, and then come back and say, let me see what you offer, Mr. Joe. And I guarantee you, you will be amazed. You will be amazed, okay? And so that's what we're talking about tonight, getting your book written, the journey. I think it's an awesome thing. I think it's a very important thing. I think it's something where you don't have to look back over your life and have regrets. You see, as we get older, we want to feel like we have fulfilled the things in our life. We don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I should have, could have, somewhat had. We don't want that. We want to feel like, you know what, I did this, I did that, you know, I made this happen. And if it's a book that you want to do, you want to also say, I wrote my book. And maybe you only write one book in your lifetime, but guess what? It's so good to know that you made that accomplishment, you fulfilled that goal, you made that happen. And I'm telling you, it's like no other thing in the world, to have had that accomplishment, okay? So if you're out there and you are thinking about your book, you got something you want to say, I'm here for a few more minutes, just trying to be an inspiration, just trying to be a motivator, just trying to pump you up, just trying to keep you mindful, just reminding you that, hey, there's a book in you. Let's make it happen. Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Just like I told you, I was a little afraid about the workshop, but guess what? Got right past that fear, went on with the workshop, made it happen. This is what you got to do. And in 2 more months, I'll be doing another workshop. So every other month, I'll do these workshops where I give you some real personal attention, answer some questions for you, all that kind of stuff. And it's $47. You can't beat it. $47 and a free coaching session. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, you know, what you get for $47. I mean, you think about some stuff you spend $47 on, you know, go to the movie and getting some food. I mean, you might spend $47 just getting the tickets. Not even got the popcorn yet with soda. But I'm talking about a major life accomplishment, right? I'm talking about a major deal. You know, writing a book, sharing something that can be passed on to your children, your children's children. I mean, information, knowledge, experiences, things you've had happen to you that no one has had happen to them. Things that people would be like amazed, blown out of this world because of your experience, right? And so Christopher says, what should I be doing while I'm waiting from information from others? So what should you be doing, Christopher? You should be relaxing. You should be just patient, just being patient. But also, hopefully you gave those people a timeline that you're waiting for information. Because I was in a situation too where I was waiting for people for a book. And they didn't show up, you know, they didn't fulfill their end of the bargain. And I had a dilemma, where do I go from here? And I decided to go on with the book without them. So do keep that in mind. Hopefully they've been given a deadline to when they will give you the information. And I would just relax on that. Maybe put aside the material you've already worked on until you get that new information. But then also be ready for if you don't get that information. Like, can you still bring your story to pass? Can you still birth your book without it? Okay? Because sometimes people can let you down. Sometimes people can have you hanging. And you have to decide, like, you know what, I'm not going to be hanging any further. I move it on. So I hope that helps, you know, to give those folks a timeline, and then if they haven't met it, to keep it moving, because nothing can stand in your way. Nothing can stand in your way of your purpose, of what's on the inside of you that you want to bring to reality. That's what a book does. A book brings what's on the inside of you into reality. And some people are like blown away and amazed that the books that are out there in our world, like, wow, how could a person write that? Like, what were they thinking? Like, that's amazing, the stuff that is only inside of people, right? The imaginations of individuals, or the experiences, right? The life things that happen in people's lives, and they tell their story. You know, first of all, it's very courageous. It's very courageous that they can do that. And they're not afraid, you know, like who will judge them. Actually, people embrace them and love them even more, because so many times people have had similar experiences, right? They went through similar abuses and traumas, and you spoke out about it and showed how you recovered. And now, for some reason, like that has like blessed millions or thousands of people are like blessed and encouraged, because they're not alone anymore, right? They're not alone. So Chris says, some say it's too emotional for them to provide. It's too emotional. Okay, so you just got to let it be. It's got to let it be, Christopher. If it's too much for them to do, you just got to accept that. Hopefully there's some others that may have been able to, you know, give their input, but you have to let it be. Otherwise, you'll feel stuck, and you'll just delay you fulfilling your own project of completing your book. And that almost happened to me. It almost happened to me with my first book. I almost like didn't do it, but then I look back at the title. The title was called Pushing On. It was a saying my mother always said, pushing on. And it was a motivational saying. you know, you would ask her, how you doing, Miss Joe? She would say, I'm pushing on, honey. And it was always encouragement. It was always her way of saying, I'm not going to stop, I'm not going to quit, I'm just going to push on. I'm just going to make it happen, do what I got to do. And so that became the title of that book. And it reminded me, I remember sitting in that library and just being reminded, like, wow, what would your mother say? And she would say, push on. And so that became the title of the book, Pushing On, Wonderful Stories About Josephine Jordan. And so it's a motivator. It's a motivator. And so it motivated me in my lowest point. It motivated me in the place where I was about to give up on my first book. And I think if I had given up on my first book, there would have been no others. I just would have just quit the idea of writing, like, you know what, I wasn't really cut out for it, you know, nobody really wants to help me. You know, I just will let it be. So Chris says, but I'm giving them time. Well, give them a cutoff time. Give them a cutoff time, Christopher. Don't let people play around with your time. Sometimes it doesn't mean the same to people like it means to you, right? Your book may not mean as much to other people like it means to you. And because of that, they may not value it. They may not, they may mean well. I don't want to, like, you know, say anything bad about folks, but they may mean well, but they may not mean it like you mean it. You know, they may not value it like you value it, or appreciate it like you appreciate it. It may not be their baby, right? It may not be as dear to them as it is to you. And because of that, you have to just maybe just nicely say, well, thank you, I appreciate your time, I understand. And keep it moving, keep it moving. I mean, there were some pages and some chapters in my first book that did not come to pass because there was some information just left out. It was just honestly left out, and that's okay. That's okay, because I was reminded to push on. I was reminded to push on, and it became an encouragement to me, and it still is today, that whenever I'm faced with something, I'm reminded of that very first book. I'm reminded of my mother's words to push on, to stay motivated, to basically she was saying, you know what, it may not be right, but guess what? Have the motivation, have the energy, have the tenacity to push on, to go on. Don't quit. Don't give up, okay? And that was one of the best bits of advice I could ever have received. Chris said something that I did have someone, they were crying when they were asked for the information. I understand. Yeah. So you may have that. You may get that. You may get it where it's too much for some people to engage in your story. It may just be a little too heavy, and you just have to accept that. You have to accept that, and keep it moving, and not have any hard feelings, not be mad with anybody, but just accept that your book is for you. I can't say that enough. The book has to first be for you. What does it mean to you? How it inspires you? How it excites you? And because of that, how it appeals to other people and how they may appreciate or value it may be so different. It just may be so different. It's just something that happens. You know, it's your baby. It's your creation. It's your work. It's your work. And everybody may not be able to feel it the same way you feel it. Okay? What else you got? Okay, that's good for you, Chris. Great. So, folks, that's what I'm here tonight for. I'm glad I got some engagement. Woo! Got a little bit of engagement. And so it's always good to be able to have some dialogue going. And again, like I tell you, the book spot is here the first and third Monday at 7:30 to inspire you, motivate you, to pump you up to get your book written. Folks, I can't tell you the number of people I run across who want to get a book written. All the time, who want to get a book written. And I say to them, it's going to take some sacrifice, right? It's going to require some organization. It's going to require some time. And I'm a book coach. I can help you. I can help you along that process. I can stay in there with you. I can tell you some of the pitfalls, all that. I can even help you ghostwrite. I can listen to your story, record it. I can do all of that, okay? But it comes at a price, folks. It comes at a price, not free. But the fulfillment you're going to receive, you're going to say, you know what, that was nothing. What I paid was nothing compared to how fulfilled and excited I am, okay? So get that book written, and we'll check you out next Monday the 15th, August 15th. Twice a month I can do it. Twice a month I could be on the book spot and help you out. And every other month I'll do a book workshop. It'll be the last Thursday of the month. So I did one in July, so next one will be September. I'm looking at my calendar right now, September 22nd. September 22nd at 7 p.m. will be the next book workshop, okay? Thank you for your time. Thank you for this evening. I appreciate you all. And I just want you to get that book written. Thank you so much.